As always, welcome back to Strategy Gaming Dojo and our War in the Pacific. We are playing Gary Grigsby's War in the Pacific Admirals edition. I believe this is episode number 47. If you can believe that, we have come a long ways. Let me get this set up here so I can see your comments. I always like to talk with you guys, see what's going on. Just give me 1 second here. And I'll bring it up. Now, last time we had talked about Singapore some. We kind of looked at the Philippines. We looked around the off-map bases. We looked at what happened last turn. This time, I really do want to focus on Java and Malaya and those areas because we have got to make sure that that is all battened down and ready to go when the main Japanese task force does arrive. All right, now I finally got the comments up here, I hope. There we go. Excellent. All right, perfect. All right, so we're going to go over to Java. Hey, Bayard, we've got David, we've got Stanley. Yes, I do have a different back setting. As part of my ever ending quest, it seems, to get these streams just perfect, I realized, no reason to have I've got this green screen that sits behind me and whatnot, and then you overlay it onto the game. It's just a little complicated. I want to make sure that the game itself is what's featured, so it doesn't really matter. My floating head doesn't need to be here, but so for the time being, I'm just going to do it this way, where you just see my webcam, no green screen. Does it look as good? I don't know. Sometimes I think the lighting's a little bit weird on me and whatnot, so let's just play the game, which is more important, right? Okay, finally set up, ready to go, and let's get over to the Borneo, Java, Malaya, Sumatra area. So, of course, a lot going on. A lot's already happened here, a lot going on here. Now, last time we looked, and now that we get out here on the map, we see that the Japanese have begun moving south out of Kota Baru. And so this looks like a powerful force. It's deep red. Thanks, Stanley. I'm glad I'm an extra for sure. We've got this deep red Japanese force moving south. They're heading towards Kutan almost assuredly. I don't know why else they'd be going down here. This is a minor road, so it will take them some time through that Malayan jungle and whatever else is out here. I say jungle, I shouldn't say that because, the terrain has its own type. But this is mountainous here. You can see that just on the map. So it'll take them a little while to get down here to Kuantan. When I say a little while, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 turns maybe to go these 2.5 hexes. But they'll arrive here. We only have a base force. This is just a token force here. I'm sorry, guys. These, what do we have? Some engineers here, probably. They're like, what, get us out of here. Yeah, we've got 8 engineers total. 2 of them are disabled, unfortunately. But, they're just there as a token force. We were kind of dissuading a landing, let's put it that way, straight at Kutan. And so this is good. So, we're making them move down a little bit. Now we have this unit retreating, or these units, I should say. It's a base force and an Indian Brigade, the 8th Indian Brigade. Moving, well, I should say they're British. It's just named the 8th Indian Brigade, of course. Moving south here on the peninsula, trying to get back first to Timala and then on to Kuala Lumpur and eventually all the way down to Singapore. And that's what we want to do, is just slowly as we can. Now, if the Japanese come in a big enough force, these guys are not going to be holding anything back. What's our assault value? It's 58. This again is just kind of a token force. Now, the Japanese were moving west here. It looks like they probably still are. It takes, as we see when we march, it takes 2 or 3, maybe even more turns to get across to Hex. So they're moving west. And I think their idea is, right, let's try to cut off things, but we've already, anything that we wanted to get out, we've pretty much gotten out. Now, we sent up the Suicide Squad to Allure Star. That little force was eliminated last time. You see the cross swords here so that you know there was a battle, and it wasn't much of a battle, let's put it that way. Georgetown, we still have an infantry unit here with an assault strength of 24. This is the 514th Punjab Battalion. And we have these fighters. Now, we did get the big bulk of these fighters out of Georgetown last time. We got them down to Singapore. But we still have 3 that are damaged. Question whether we're ever going to get those out. The Japanese, I think, now will turn their sights on Georgetown, and very likely we're just not going to have a chance to get those 3 fighter aircraft out. What can you do? You know, we got a big bulk of them out. It's possible maybe I should have moved them a turn sooner, but we also did want to run a little cap and try to maybe disrupt the Japanese a little bit, or at least take down a few planes with us. You know, we did what we could. What do we have here? We have an infantry unit. This infantry unit is the 3rd SSVF. I don't know what SSVF stands for. Maybe someone in the comments will know. That has an assault strength of 16. Okay, so again, another just token force here. The minute that they come under any kind of attack, realistically, they're probably going to surrender. When I say surrender, they're going to be destroyed, surrendered, they'll be gone. But hopefully, they'll actually just drop back a little bit, and we can hold off the Japanese for one more turn with that force. But that force is another Suicide Squad. Down here at Temala, we now have AA. Let's make sure these are all in combat. Then we have Assault Strength 21, the 1st Hyderabad. And then this is in combat, good. This is the 22nd Indian Brigade. Again, this one's 3 Indian Corps. We could potentially get them out if we wanted to, but we don't. It's not that I don't want to, but I don't think it's a wise idea to do it. Stanley's saying the Punjabis could swim out, or they had bicycles. Good luck, guys. Good luck. Don't get a flat tire out there. Bayard says, seems strange they would go straight west from Kota Baru. No roads, no railroad. I agree. I think that AI, right here, yeah, this unit here, agreed. I'm kind of surprised they didn't push here. I think maybe the AI programming, it's because some people will keep a lot of units right up here, and it's maybe to cut, some of that off. Or maybe it's just a bad move. I don't know. So if they came across here and took this base, they essentially block up these 3 British bases. Bayard says SSVF is Straits Settlements Volunteer Force formed in 1922 from local personnel. Excellent information. Thank you, sir. Okay, so down here, again, a kind of a blocking force before they get to Kuala Lumpur. At Kuala Lumpur, we actually have quite a bit of equipment and men. We've got a 330 assault strength. Now, that's not going to be enough to hold off what's coming, but it'll slow them down. And that's all we're trying to do in Malaya is slow them down. Let's make sure everything here at Kuala Lumpur is set up. Combat, Kuala, combat, Kuala, combat, combat. Okay, so we've got an anti-tank force here. We've got 2 base forces. Now, question whether we really need 2 base forces here. Do we have one that's pretty dang good, or that has good aviation support? So this one has 10 aviation support. I'm actually tempted to maybe get this out, or at least when I say out, I really mean back to Singapore. How much support is required here? 454, and we've got 456. Well, they're not providing that much straight up support. They've got 24 active support, 6 disabled. That's something we'll think about. We may drop that aviation support back. You need all the aviation support you can get, although we are trying to get stuff out of Singapore. So when I say stuff, at least the planes, right? You've got 3 Indian Corps headquarters here. This is under Lewis Mc. Is that Mc? I'm just going to say Lewis Heath. Lieutenant General Lewis Heath. He's not very impressive, that's for sure. We have some AA here. That's good because it will come under intense Japanese bombing. What do we have back here? At Malacca, we've got 1 infantry unit. This again was kind of a blocking force, 26. In case the Japanese were very aggressive and tried to get over here or over here and block off our units coming south, but really we've gotten everything south that we want, or you know, I wouldn't say need, but we've gotten everything out of there that makes sense. Mersing, we've still got the Aussies over here. They look mighty fine with an assault strength of 93. I'm sorry, gentlemen. We won't talk about that one again. 1st Malay Battalion is also sitting here at Mersing. These were here to dissuade a straight-up Japanese landing at Mersing. It seems like we've done that. It seems like they've made up their mind to bring everything and offload everything into Kota Baru, and you also see another Japanese task force headed for what I assume is Kota Baru, maybe Patani, but probably Kota Baru. And we have got Dutch subs definitely in the area. So hopefully we pick some things off there with these Dutch subs. Now let's look at the planes still at Kuala Lumpur. We tried to get, okay, good. We can get this out. It's just 1 plane. I've never been so excited about 1 Blenheim before, but let's get it out. I think it's it's the 62 Squadron. It's part of the 223. Well, let's jump it down to Singapore and maybe we can actually integrate it into another squadron. So we'll just send that down to Singapore. There's actually no reason to have bombers in Malaya at this point. You're really not going to use them for bombing runs, so what's the point? What do we have here? At Johor Bahru, we have the base force. All right, it's in combat mode. We have the Australians moving on, and we have the 29 battery AA here. So it's got some AA support, which is good because again, the Japanese will be all over the bombing of Kuala Lumpur, Johor Bahru, and Singapore. So all of these guys are good. So this all looks pretty good. Let's look at Singapore well, I say very quickly. We all know that that's not the case. Now look at all of the aircraft we have here. We do have 160 aviation support. So I was just talking about that base force, maybe moving it down to Singapore for aviation support. I don't really think it's necessary for that purpose. We may still want to do it, but we've got 101 required for aviation support, and we've got 160 available. That's plenty for now. Now we've got a lot of air units here that we need to decide what we're going to do with them. But before we do that, let's actually go here to this Dutch base, which is Tan Joan Penang. I tried. We are trying to get this base force out, and as you can see, we're down to just 2 support. We're doing it through these float patrol aircraft. It's pretty slow going. You can see here they're going to, oh gosh, it's Siberut, right? Siberut. So they are flying over here to Siberut to provide a base force for that Dutch base. We've almost got them out. It's been very, very slow. And actually, if we have any patrol aircraft here, we may, jump them down here to help a little bit, because then we're going to want them. Do we have an air? Yeah, we have an airfield here. We're going to want them to maybe go down and get this infantry group, although I kind of went back and forth on that last time. This is an okay blocking force to just keep the Japanese from a free landing here. We may just keep that there. Is it really worth? Bayard says Transfer the GVTA to Siberut. And pick up the rest. Oh, I see what you're saying, because there's no aviation support here. Transfer the planes here and then do it, in reverse. So instead of having the planes here and flying the units here, you have the planes here, go pick them up and come back. Right. I think that makes a lot of sense. Assuming that's what you were saying. If it wasn't, I still think it makes a lot of sense. But I do believe that that's what you meant. Um, Okay, so let's dig through what we've got going on at Singapore. We've got no ships in port. That's a very good thing. All right, we got those out. We do have 109, 361 in fuel, and 48,000 in supply. So we've got plenty of supply to sit here for a while as the Japanese come down. I really, really hope. I think that historically, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think Singapore fell on December 31st. I think it fell on New Year's Eve. Um, but correct me if I'm wrong about that. That would only be 2 weeks away. Now, the Japanese are obviously starting to accelerate their advance, but I think we can hold on for much more than 2 weeks here. I would really prefer to hold on for 3 or 4 weeks. Of course I would, right? But we'll see what happens. Now, these level bombers, what are we doing with them? We're doing search missions. Oh, this is what we just transferred down here. What happens if we decide to disband the group? We would send all planes and pilots to the pools. Let's do that. Um, this is a Kiwi float patrol aircraft. It's currently in maintenance, so there's nothing we could we could go ahead and give it the order to transfer to a base, but it's not going to go there yet. We'll come back to that one. We have the Buffalo Ones. So we've got a squadron here of Buffalo Ones. They've got 51 experience, their pilots do. We've got 7 pilots, so we've got a decent rotation going on, although we've got 17 fatigue. We're only running 50 cap. That seems like the fatigue is a little high to me. But I think maybe we dialed that back last time, so it may take a couple of turns before we get that completely lined up correctly. Or I'd say lined up correctly. That was kind of a throwaway line. Before the fatigue starts to come down. That's what I meant. We've got some more buffaloes here, 5 again, and that's what these squadrons are limited to is 5 planes, 6 pilots. We've only got a 12 fatigue here, only a 47 experience. That's not great. Now these guys were in training, but I had them at 0 training. That's no way to be. Escort, let's get them up to 50 cap. I think maybe I stood them down last time. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Oh gosh, Bayard says Singapore surrendered on 15th February 42. Okay, we've got a lot longer. I don't know why I thought what major Allied base surrendered. I'm talking historically, obviously, or surrendered. I think it was on New Year's Eve 41. I thought that was Singapore, but now I feel a little silly. We've got 8 weeks. We got to hold on 8 weeks to beat the historical mark here. 50 cap, okay, that's fine. They don't have much experience. They're really, all other things being equal, we would not want them running this cap. Now, we had these guys resting for sure. Oh, that's right. I remember doing this last time. We'll put them on 50 cap. Hopefully that works out. We've got 21 pilots for 18 serviceable aircraft. Now we have some torpedo bombers, and we've been running search with these guys out here. Nice little search pattern that we have going on. I think we'll keep that. It's 11 planes, not a bad force there, right? So that's fine. We've now got another 7 torpedo bombers. These are the wildebeests, and I think we just have them on straight up naval attack. These guys actually have a pretty decent experience, 58. Not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. So we've got them on general naval attack for any kind of surface task force. That's fine. That's fine. We've now got some Australian torpedo bombers. This again is the Wildebeest 3. 12. We've got 12 here and 5 in reserve, which is really nice. And we've got them on general naval attack. Again, we'll see. We've got a lot of fighter aircraft here that can run escort. I've got them on 50 cap, so the other 50% presumably are there to run escort missions. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. Fighter group here, we've got 3. Okay, so this unit has actually gotten, I say unit, squadron has actually gotten quite a bit of action. It has 3 that are serviceable, 10 that are damaged. And so, you know, they've been in the line of fire here. You can see here, 8 air to air, they've lost 4. Ops, I forget, what is W off? I just don't remember off the top of my head. Ground 3, average repair time 2 days. That's something we haven't really talked about. Depending on how much support you have here, it will, you know, upper or lower your average repair time. They've got a 55 experience, so it's pretty good. They've got 10 kills, so they've had 10 damaged, and they've gotten 10 kills, so not bad. Especially this early in the war, not bad at all, actually. I shouldn't, you know, I shouldn't downgrade what they've done. They've stayed even with the Japanese. Let's click that cap down to 50. I don't want them getting fatigued. Now we have some New Zealand, a New Zealand squadron of 10 and 6 of the Buffalo. And so they have gotten 6 damaged. They have gotten 0 kills. Yeah, that's interesting. So, wow, they have not been doing too well here, but that's fine. We're going to take them completely off training. There's just no reason at this point. I mean, their training will be the real kind of training where you actually get in dogfights. We have a recon aircraft out here. We don't really have it doing anything. This is the Buffalo PR-1. Oh, interesting. So they turned some of these Buffaloes into recon aircraft. Okay, I did not know that or did not realize that. Hold on one second. I'm gonna make my head a little smaller. Now I know you guys that disappoints you, but I'm sorry. As you can tell, I think the stream's a lot more stable this way. Okay, yeah. So this recon, it's 2 aircraft. Do we really need them here? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and get them out of here. Maybe send them down to, where do we want them to go? Let's send them down. Well, Bandoang is now all subscribed up. Miri is not. Batavia is a little over. Oosthaven's way over. We got to deal with that. Yeah, we're not flying them up to Georgetown. That's a bad idea. Let's do this by support. Yeah, these are all, well, Batavia, Bandoang. Let's put them here for now, and then we're going to go down into Java and start shuffling around aircraft. Oh, okay. W off. Sorry, I don't mean to be like I'm in middle school. That just made me laugh. Write off, yes, basically basically an operational loss where it has too much damage to be repaired. Okay, written off. Okay, for accounting purposes, right? Okay, so we hopped them down to Bandoang, which is good. Did we already look at these guys? I want to just make sure we did. I think we did. Yep. Then we have these level bombers here. They are running ASW. You know, we're getting to the point of where, you know, I like this right here for now, but we're getting to the point we may get them out because, you know, once the Japanese are here and we've got all of the ships out that we need to get out, which we pretty much do at this point, whether they have submarines or not kind of becomes irrelevant. if you're not trying to sail other ships out. Then we have some more, oh, these are the Swordfish over here, another torpedo bomber squadron. Um, we had them resting. I don't know why we have them resting, really. Oh, no, we don't. We've got them on naval attack. Rest is their secondary command. That's how naval attack works. If you don't remember, just didn't see that in the tutorials or when we've talked about it. When you do naval attack, that is at the commander's discretion. And if they don't find something good, or even if they do and they've just got leftover, you know, some planes that didn't run something, they will rest. So that's like their secondary order. And that really only applies to naval attack. Okay, so that's all the ships. And then we have the HDMLs here. Okay, their anti-submarine is too good to be here. And as I just mentioned, we have no reason really to be running ASW here. We're not trying to get transports out. Now we're trying to get one transport in. You may remember that last time. We are sending a transport group in here. Did it get down the line a little bit? Let's see where it is. It wouldn't be that far. This is it. Okay. So this is a Dutch transport group. I think what I'll do, I'm going to have those HDMLs maybe, they don't have much range, right? Their endurance, I think, is less than 500. But I think what I'll do maybe here is have them meet this task force, bring it into Singapore, and then try to get them out and get them to, let's say, Palembang. Okay, so let's do that. Let's click over here. We'll have them merge. Wow, that's almost overkill on the submarine support, right? All of them have 8 ASW, which is as good as it gets, really. Let's see. Where's that task force again? There it is. You are correct, Bayard. We need to put that on remain on station so that they sit there while while dumb old me sits here and goes, oh yeah, we've got a ship there we got to get some troops onto. Yes, so that is correct. These HTMLs, it seems like overkill to send all 4 of them to meet this transport with all 4 having an 8 ASW. So why don't we do this? Let's go to Singapore here. Let's split off 3 of them, or better yet, let's split off 1 of them for ASW combat. We will, I don't know, we'll just take this one. I don't think it really matters. And let's have this be the one that goes and merges with this. That's the APs. Okay. Oh, did I? Gosh darn it. Hold on. That's not it. It's here, right? Yeah, there it is. Okay. There we go. Left click. All right, it will meet there. And let's have them merge and lead that into Singapore. Oh. Wow. Oh, because it's a harbor. We talked about this last time, right? Harbor defense motor launch, I guess is what their full name. They are not compatible. Oh, really? So HTMLs can only be in task forces by themselves. It's not going to allow this to merge. Let's have it follow. So it's in the same hex. How about that? Okay, well, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever encountered that before. I did not know that. Well, you learn something new with this game every time you play it. Let's have these guys try to get down to Palembang and provide some ASW through this strait, or at least all around the island here. Mission speed, they'll get there. That's fine. We'll set their home port there. Cool. Okay, and now we will get some really nice ASW for the time being, at least. Now, Bayard said, go look at what we've got here. The 3-pound Hotchkiss MK1. Okay. Interesting. Then you got the Mark 7. Right side, left side. You got the Mark, or is that right? What is that? It's a Mark IV, Mark VII depth charge. Huh, okay, interesting. Yeah, and then they've got the Mark I's here. Okay. Wow, they've got, I mean, they're loaded up pretty well. It's too bad they don't have a better endurance. They're not bigger ships. Um, cool. All right, so I think we've done that now. We split that off. What else do we have? Okay, that's the one HTML. That's the three HTMLs going to Palembang. We've got these two minesweepers here, which also have some ASW ability. So let's go look at that really fast. They are both fours. So let's get them out of here. Um, no reason to have them. Well, yeah, really no reason to have them here. Let's get them down to Palembang as well. All right. And let's get let's set their home port to Palembang.